No, I was just going to ask, were y'all isolated? Like, did you, because I know a lot of times when people are in those situations, the church is their friends, the family, like, and so coming out of it, did you have any friends to go to? Did you have family?
So for me, because honestly, I stopped really going as regular as I was once I started going to college, because I was far away, so I couldn't even get to church.
Okay.
But, you know, when I was at home, we went to church for every single day. There was always something. We would be in church till 2:00 in the morning on school days.
Oh, wow.
And if
2
you,
o'clock in the morning?
and if you left, you're going to hell.
Oh, no.
You're going to hell. So I had stopped going when I started going to college. So as often, I would go when I came home and stuff. But my mom, she was more, that was her family. That was everything all in one. So my mom, you know, she dealt with some depression and things like that. It was a really hard time for our family. Just, you know, she just went through a lot. Yeah. Again, trying not to, you know, give all her story, but it was bad. You know, I think my mom was suicidal at that time because it was just like, she had uprooted her life to come here for this church. And now to not have any of that, and then all your kids are gone, you know, so she's just kind of left. And then you weren't able to have a job all this time. So there was a lot of things that it just went down for her.
Can I ask a question about that? So were the leaders in the church not allowed to work?
No, you were not able to. If you worked, you were going to hell.
Wow. What was the biblical reference for that?
Child, don't get me lying.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you, but there definitely was one.
Yeah.
I'm definitely no Bible scholar, but I can't remember. But it was always something about just supporting the minister or the pastor or whatever. And if you didn't do that, if you weren't available for God or weren't in the room type of thing. But essentially it was just there was always scriptural things like, why aren't you here? You don't care about God type of feeling. That was the overall vibe of it.
Wow. So where would you say your faith is now with God?
This is the closest I've ever been to him. Again, just kind of, like I said, I've had a very traumatic upbringing, from being raped at 5 to, you know, being homeless and domestic violence, all these different things. But ultimately, it just made me dig deeper into my relationship with him. Like I desperately wanted to still feel God because I felt him in that church. I know that because a lot of times, and I think this is what it is, and I think I'm just landing on this. The reason why I was able to feel God the way I was is because every time I was on my knees, I was talking to God. I wasn't talking to the people. This wasn't for show. This wasn't for anything. This was a free atmosphere. It's just like you going into a room and there's demons surrounding you. But if you with God, God walks with you and he protects you. Amen. He protects your spirit. He protects your heart. All those things. And I had to remember that this was not God. Yeah. God didn't do this to me. I experienced him and I know that he loves me. He cares for me. The way I've experienced God, like more than anything, is that he allows me to have forgiveness in my heart. That I don't have to carry things. Like I don't have to, you know, be bitter or anything like that. For a long time with the whole church, I was bitter. Yeah. I was. Again, I thought God hated me. I thought he didn't love me. But it wasn't that. And again, and I will say, to those people, even with this episode, this ain't even about y'all. I don't know how it came out of my mouth, but it ain't about y'all. It's about ultimately communicating and letting people know that there's life after the hurt. There is a way to get back to God. God loves you. He allows us to sometimes go through things so that we can get to the place that we're ultimately meant to be. Sometimes it takes us being pushed. Just think about your worst relationship. You were terrible and miserable and all those things. And again, I experienced domestic violence. So it's like I'm in it. My mind is like, oh my God, this is love. Yeah, he put his hands on me, but he loved me. That ain't it. So it's not until you walk away from it that you really realize what's right and what's wrong. And ultimately, like I said, even with dealing with that and some of the things, like being able to open myself back up to love and not say everybody is like this. Everybody doesn't have ill intent. God loves you. He made you who you are. He allowed those things to happen. I know that sounds insane. And I know sometimes people will say, like, every time I would talk or think back on some of the things that I've went through, I realized that it was never for me. It was always for the next person. And I always hated that because I'm like, forget these people. Who's going to go through for me? Who's going going through it for me? Nobody. But God allowed. Yeah.
God was going through it for you.
Absolutely. And that's the ultimate thing. It's like, it's not to bash. It's really to shed light on, again, church hurt and imperfect people and God's love and how he ultimately gets us to the place that we need to be in. I wouldn't be sitting here today and being able to talk to all of you guys if God didn't allow me to go through it. There's rooms that I would have never been able to touch if I didn't go through it. There's people I would have never met if I didn't go through it. So go through it. Allow God to take you through it so that he can bring you through it and you can talk about it and you can be a witness to more people and be able to tell people like everything is going to be okay at the end of the day. It's not perfect. It's not. Everything does not peaches and cream afterwards, but it does take work. It does take remembering who God is ultimately and relying on his voice to guide you